Welcome back to the Toon Squad podcast. This is Tuned Threads. So we're going to start off, we're going to read some Reddit stories. And today's theme, we're going to be doing some horror stories.
Ooh, spooky.
So we'll see when we get into this.
We've been keeping on the liar side
up
until now.
We've been getting into liars and assholes and exes, things of that nature. Now we're going to get...
That's time we're getting in the weeds, so...
We're getting in the weeds. But take it away, Logan.
Yeah, so I've not read these at all. Let's see. This first story here is my girlfriend talks in her sleep, and she's been saying the most horrible things recently. So these gotta be pretty bad to be a horror story. Let's see. It starts, this is this dude talking. This is from 8 years ago as well. r/no sleep. I'm infatuated with her. Utterly infatuated. And it wasn't at a healthy level, far from it. I would think about her every moment she was away. It's like obsession. It's obsession, if you've watched it. I would sometimes sit on my couch and just stare at my phone, waiting for her to text. And I'd tell myself, don't contact her, don't. It'll come off as too strong. But then I'd start finding myself clicking her name on my contact list before my inner voice would continue. If you don't want her to know how desperately smitten you are with her, smitten, I don't know. It's unattractive, it will scare off. No, you must wait for her to call you this time. But it's excruciating and exhausting, almost unbearable. And I once heard that the ancient Greeks believed that falling madly and irrationally in love with someone was a curse that you would wish upon your enemies. This is obsession. This is literally obsession. I could never understand what they meant. After all, isn't falling head over heels in love the ultimate goal nowadays? But now that it's happened to me, I have to say the ancient Greeks were right. This is a curse. It's I'm barely in control of myself, almost as though my infatuation with her had possessed me. I can't. This is made 8 years ago. This is just the obsession thing.
This dude wrote the script.
A Nikki diary log right here. The two of us were sexually active together, but still in the dating phase. We were at the make or break era of a blossoming relationship, and we'd either have the talk and formally be in a relationship, or we'd start to slowly drift. The latter of which I don't think I'd be able to cope with. Honestly, I wouldn't be able to. One wish willow. Almost everything about her captivated me. The way she held her hand over her mouth when she laughed, how she caressed the pendant of her necklace when she was frightened, how she twirled her hair and her finger when she was excited. Yeah, I know, it probably makes you sick reading about it. Sick? I guess it's a little obsessive. It's a little obsessive, I'm not going to lie. Actually, very obsessive.
Actually.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I was never the hopeless romantic type, but now I can't stop fantasizing about her. Okay, it is getting weird. I'd think about us doing the long 3-hour hike up to that magnificent view from one of our first dates. To that first kiss, we overlooked the lights of the city. But this time, I'd get down on one knee and bring out the ring, and, well, you know what happened next. Well, they're not even dating, so you got to get to the dating before you even get to the engaged part. Alright, fine. I'll stop. Yes, this is a girl I'd only been casually dating for a couple months. I shouldn't be thinking about proposing yet. Okay.
Alright, he's getting rational.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just barely able to control myself any longer. I feel as though I'm losing the power over the decisions I make. I can't with this session script. And that brings me to why I'm here writing this out at this moment. It started with the first real thing that troubled me about her.
It started with the one wish willow.
The one wish willow. He's not telling us that he got one wish willow. We'd never actually spent a night together. No matter how late she was over, once either of us showed signs of being tired, she'd up and leave. She wouldn't leave awkwardly or in anger, just a casual kiss goodnight and a smile and a call me soon. It was something I didn't really even notice the first few times she did it. But after almost 8 weeks of dating, it was becoming strange. I'd have to ask her about it. Well, they're dating. That's pretty awesome, this dude's getting it. It took drinking almost an entire bottle of wine before I had the courage to do it. She almost looked defeated when I asked and lowered her eyes in embarrassment. I knew this talk would come eventually, she says. She took in a deep breath and with a long, drawn-out exhale. Recently, she paused again, I've started talking in my sleep.
Recently?
So this is, okay, how recent? She shook her head in embarrassment. It's called, science word, solemnity.
Yeah, no.
I have no idea. Okay, so it's a disease that makes you talk in your sleep. I shrugged and laughed out loud. My demeanor seemed to say, that's it? No, Stephen, listen. Main character's name is Steven. She wasn't laughing. It's bad. It's completely out of control. It's not just random words or gibberish. It's horrible. I say horrible, disgusting things. She was starting to raise her voice, breathe heavy, and tear up. I approached her and held her. I told her it could be that bad. I told her to spend the night, and she was probably exaggerating. I was wrong. That night, she stayed at my house, but she warned me of something before falling asleep. Whatever you do, don't wake me. It makes me really scared and disoriented if that happens. And don't respond to me, just ignore it. Okay, I'm nervous now. I nodded and agreed. If it becomes too much, she continued, just leave the room and sleep on the couch. I won't mind. I told her not to worry about it. I told her it wouldn't be even a big deal, and I wouldn't go to the couch. I'd stay beside her in the bed. I was wrong. I couldn't even last one night. We both fell asleep without incident. I don't know how many hours passed, but I woke up in the dark with the sensation that someone was watching me, and then I remembered. She was with me. She was actually spending the night. And I smiled. Okay. But then I noticed the shadowy outline of her sitting up on the bed. She was looking down at me, staring. Oh my gosh. It creeped me out. I'll admit it, her posture was entirely different, and it was as though it wasn't even her at all. Then she spoke. It wasn't her voice that I heard. It was much lower and gravelly, like something out of a horror movie. I'll chew the skin from your bones, she said. And I froze. Like, you wake up standing over. This is obsession. This is obsession gone wrong. Like, the wish was altered. Like, accidentally, like, kill him in his sleep or something.
This is the original script, bro.
Yeah, this is the original script. At first, I just kept looking at her. This was not at all what I expected, and I thought it would be more like the way Tourette's is often portrayed, just random swearing and shouting. And I honestly thought to myself, what will she do if she attacks me? What if she really does try to chew the skin from my bone? But then she just went back to sleep. I was creeped out, and I tried to lie back down and ignore her, but struggled. I couldn't even close my eyes without thinking maybe she's going to get up again and stare at me. And then one time I rolled over to look at her, and she was. So this is twice now. Her face was pressed right towards mine, and her breath was foul and rotted. Okay, well that wasn't before the obsession. That she literally just has bad breath. So yeah. Something that was most certainly not normal for her. And she spoke again in the same voice before. If you don't move to the couch, you'll be dead by morning. Dead by morning? Or she said dead by daylight.
I knew it. I freaking knew it, bro.
That did it for me. I sat up in a moment and headed for the living room. She made some sort of wheezing sound as I left. I think it was supposed to be laughter. And I was lying on the couch, but I wasn't going to be able to go back to sleep. I was far too shaken. I was staring out towards the window, hoping to see the first few hints of the sun rising. And then I thought I heard something from the bedroom. And I listened, and I heard it. Steven. It was that same low and gravelly voice. It sounded like a witch. I tried to ignore it at first, but then it continued. Steven. Still, I said nothing. I know you can hear me, Steven. You're awake now. Why don't you come back to the bedroom? The voice barely sounded human. Or maybe you'd prefer if I come to you.
No, no.
You is in bold, so clearly this is it. I still didn't say anything. I was told not to, but I listened. If I heard her start walking towards the bedroom door, I'm not even joking, I would run out of the apartment. But she asked me not to respond to her in her sleep, so I didn't. And then I heard her once more. Sorry if this spoils your plans. She began laughing. The two of you were supposed to walk that trail again, she started. I wasn't even remotely prepared for what she'd say next. You'd both be so tired when you reach the top. You'd look over the city, then you'll get on one knee and bring out the ring. She began laughing. So she can read minds?
She knows about his plans to propose.
What? And that's when I realized this wasn't just a problem with sleep talking. It was something much more. Something supernatural. I had never told anyone about my proposal fantasy. There was simply no way she could have known about any of it. This was no longer about merely talking in one's sleep. This was about possession. Obsession, possession. I can't go back into the bedroom. I have no idea what would happen if I did. Instead, I'm going to wait it out, holding up in my living room until the sun rises. I have a couple more hours yet. I can hear her laughing occasionally in the bedroom, but it's still not her voice. Still the same low-pitched cackle. But as I sat on my couch writing this out, Here's what scares me the most. Maybe my infatuation and utter obsession with her wasn't normal. I said before that I felt like I was losing control of myself. More so, I believe, than the typical falling in love story. No. I fear that the infatuation I felt was the entity slowly taking control of me, of it controlling my thoughts, fears, ambitions, and anxieties. Maybe once I became completely absorbed, a transfer would occur, and she would be free of it. Oh, so it's a switch. I know I should leave, that I should open the front door, get in my car, and drive away from here, but I can't. I can't leave her. I've already lost control. I'm infatuated with her. Utterly infatuated.
Utterly obsessed.
In credits. Yeah, utterly obsessed.
Dude, I mean, that's honestly like a really good story.
Yeah, so it started the same way it ended. And
so, like, what would you do in this scenario if you're in his shoes?
Oh, you know I'd sock him in the face. No, I'm sorry. I know she said, don't talk to me when I'm in my, sleep talk stage.
Don't talk to me. Don't wake me up.
I'm sorry. The second you're standing over me, like, it said, like, what, like a figure or whatever. I mean, I'm going to be like, what are you doing? And, like, getting shoved out the way at least. Well, because I can't wake up to you, up in my face like this.
And he was like, she had terrible breath.
Yeah, the terrible breath.
Hey, he's obsessed with her at this point. He says she still has terrible breath. It must be pretty
bad.
bad.
It's in like the way he described the breath was low key like, which I can't find now, but
was it like the most foulest?
Yeah, it was like foul and disgusting. So
it's like picture Indy Neverett, and she's like got that like face stuff that they put on her to make her look weird, and but like all you see is just that like, dude.
Yeah, see, that'd be terrifying.
That's so cool that they can like change the faces though to like put that like thing just so it looks different when the shadow, because your like mind is like making up what it can see. Yeah,
so like they're letting you do all the work.
Yeah.
In terms like, so that's what makes that so good.
It's a cool, but like yeah, just imagine.
I'm surprised other movies haven't done that shadow stuff.
Yeah, no.
Before, like this really the first time.
It's very practical, completely practical, right?
Yeah, it was. They just did the shadows like that. Like they just.
Yeah, no, that was.
It's totally believable. Obsession's awesome.
It's definitely gonna get like an Oscar.
And again, this is literally just the Obsession story. If you just didn't want to watch Obsession, this is basically.
Yeah, just read this story. We'll put the user and stuff up there.
r/no-sleep. But yeah. Anyways, on to the next one. So, getting on to the next story. The first story was pretty good, but we got my son's camera monitor alerted in the middle of the night. I checked it and saw my wife and son sitting on the bed. They weren't my wife and son. Okay? That's a pretty good, this is a pretty good title. I saw my wife and son, they weren't my wife and son. It's another one on r/no-sleep, so this must be like, what is it, a scary...
Yeah, like keeps you up at night.
Oh, yes, we got 1,600 awake right now, is what it says.
Afraid to sleep.
And we got 177,000 that are afraid to sleep. Okay, let's get into it. I'm a nurse, and I currently work nights. It's a total drag, but I'm hopeful I can go to days soon, since some coworkers are planning retirements. This guy worked at a retirement home. Anyway, I was working one night when just after 3 a.m., my son's monitor alerted me to sound and movement. No big deal at all. He probably coughed loudly or sneezed or something. He's 3 now, so he generally sleeps all night. But I bring it up on my phone and see him and my wife sitting on the bed. Again, no big deal. He might have cried out or gotten scared or something. I was about to close the app when I noticed they were acting strange, almost creepy. And when I say almost creepy, I mean creepy as balls. They were sitting on the bed together, both of them just staring up at the camera with blank, emotionless stares. The night vision is black and white, so they had white, eerie-looking eyes, and they didn't move at all, aside from their visible breathing. They just sat there staring at the camera. I close the app, and I give my wife a call to make sure everything is okay. I never get to call home on lunch, so in a way, this is kind of nice to get to talk to my family while at work. Wait, so he's in a hotel forever away, or whatever. Is this at 3 a.m. though?
Yeah, like he's away from home. I think, did he say he was at work?
Yo, yeah, I'm a nurse. I currently work nights, so he's at the hospital working. Okay. It rings a couple times before she answers with a very groggy hello. It was like she was dead asleep when I called her, and she looked wide awake when on the camera. This is like the last story talking. Hey, you guys okay? Huh? Yeah, Buddy, in parentheses, my son's nickname, came in like 15 minutes ago. Seemed scared, so I said he could sleep with Mama.
Oh,
Seems scared. I'm confused here, since I saw them in his room a minute ago. Literally 60 seconds had passed since I closed the app and made the call. Wait, so you guys are in bed? Yeah, I fell back asleep right away. Everything okay? Everybody keeps waking me up. She's kind of annoyed. Hang on a sec. I put her on speaker and bring up the app, hoping I don't see it. When the app loads, I get that pang of intense nervousness in my stomach that I haven't had in a long time. Since I was a kid in school and realized while I was eating breakfast a paper or something was due that day and I hadn't done it. Well, it's specific, but I get the emotion he's trying to say. My heart leaps into my throat. My wife and son are sitting on his bed looking up at the camera. Same emotionless stares. Hello? You guys are in bed, right? Yeah, we're trying to sleep. Well, I'm looking at the camera and I see you two sitting on his bed. We're in our bed. I know what you mean, but I'm looking at his bed and you two are in there. Hang on, she says. She's quiet for a sec, and while she brings up the camera on her phone, I hear this guttural, terrified gasp, like she had sucked all the air in the room into her lungs, filling them to capacity. I don't hear this kind of gasp from my woman often. Usually only when she's truly afraid, like in a jump scare movie. Why does he includes these very specific, like, details?
First time she gasped like that was when we had sex for the first time.
Like, why?
Pulled it out and she gasped.
Like, this is what he's focusing on at all this. It's okay. That's just funny. I hear rustling of sheets and the line goes dead. Of course, now I'm absolutely terrified myself, so I immediately call back and it goes to voicemail. So I call again, and I call again and again with no answer. And finally, about after 4 minutes, she calls me. And I tell you that 4 minutes felt like 40 years. Hey, what's happening, I ask. She's absolutely hysterical and crying. I can't understand a word she says. Stop, slow down for a second, I say. She slows down enough to explain they're in the car and driving to her parents. And she looked at the camera, and when she saw what was on it, she got up and grabbed our son, rushed downstairs and out the door. Didn't even close the garage. So we've got mere wife and kids sitting in there for no reason. We have no idea why. Don't worry about it, I said. I'll drive by when I get it off and close it. We live in a generally safe neighborhood, so I'm not too concerned the door is up. You will not go in there, she says. Hell no, I return. Why are we on the camera, she asks. Is it a recording? I don't know, I return. I'm going to keep watching it and see if there's anything I can tell. Do our code words with Buddy. We have code words because we're nerds. We've seen too many pod people and imposter movies, so we decided a long time ago to make code words with each other to be able to tell if one of us was an imposter. So, okay, some Death Note stuff. We have a couple code words, but we also have a 3-sentence story we recite together, each saying a different part, alternative of each other.
Okay, what?
Yeah, see, like, okay. I can't with this. This is so specific. I hear on the phone saying the things we taught our son. He giggles, he says them. He does every time we practice. Since he thinks they're a joke and doesn't have any idea of the real meaning. We both convinced he's our son. Was there a question with that?
Yeah.
My wife then says our part, and I'm convinced she's her. We made up these words as a complete joke to ourselves. And okay, whatever. They have code words. Okay, that's it. We have code words. She got to her parents safely, and it was hard to hang up. I told her we'll figure out in the morning, hopefully just a glitch. She said she didn't think it was a glitch. When she was running out, she had to run by her son's room, and the door was open, and there was a little flashing light on the back of the camera that indicates it's connected to the internet. It gives off just enough light when she ran by when she thought she saw out the corner of her eye a shadowy outline of what could have been an adult sitting in our son's bed. And it sends chills down my spine to think about. You'd think she'd just like look in it or something. Knowing they were safe out of the house is the only thing that kept me at work that night. It was a long 4 hours, but I kept checking. Only 4 hours shift, dude. I guess, well, he started at 3 a.m. Okay, so he gets off at 7. But I kept checking the camera every chance I got. And sure enough, they were still sitting on the bed staring at the camera with emotionless gazes. I studied them to see if I could see any pattern from their breathing to their blinking. Their breathing was steady and looked normal. It was their blinking that would tell me if this was just some kind of bizarre time loop freak accident video or not. So I intently stare at my phone and count the seconds between each blink. Okay, see, this dude is including too much extra information. Blinking stuff now?
Yeah, like...
Whatever, man. He talks about the pattern. There's no pattern. I try to figure out what the hell I'm going to do before I leave work. Calling the police comes to mind, but I talk myself out of it. First of all, what am I supposed to say? Someone's in my house that looks like my wife but isn't? Worse yet, what if they are entities of some kind and the police do go over and it kills them or something? Then that's their job, dude.
This is like Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, this is... What do you mean? So you'd rather go and experience it yourself and you die? I decided to tell my coworker about it. He's a firm believer in the paranormal and might have a suggestion. I show him the video and the whole story, and his initial response is that's creepy. But that doesn't help much, but he says he wants to go over and check it out. He says we both should see it. If not, my wife will try and act like my wife. What they got named? So if not, my wife is the name of it. I tell him absolutely not, and he says we should go at least go over to the house, even if we don't go in. I agree on that since I wants to close the garage. So we got to my house, walked around the perimeter first. Okay, just securing the location. They went inside, walked through the kitchen towards where the foyer, where the stairs are. It's so quiet in our house right now, you could hear a feather drop. Forget the pen. We stop at the bottom of the stairs and wait a few seconds. I look at the camera again, and they are still sitting there. I've never been so scared in my life. So scared. That's how scared he is. He's so scared. My coworker puts his foot on the first step, and I suddenly say, "Stop!" loudly. "Forget this. We're out of here." I tell him, "Come on." I start making my way back to the kitchen. We hear a loud creak in the floor from upstairs. It's my son's room, and he has a very loud, creaky board right in the middle of his floor that's almost impossible.
Okay, it's in my son's room, and he has this really creaky
very
board
specific one board that's impossible not to step on. Oh, I heard it. It's that one.
It's gotta be that board.
Yeah, I mean, come on. My wife and I are still deciding if we ever want to fix it because they'll learn. Okay, come on, come on, come on! I yell as I motion for him to move his ass. We're out of the house in about 2 seconds. Out on the street, I check my phone. Not my son was sitting on the bed, same blank stare. Not my wife was gone. "Holy shit," my coworker says. "That was stupid. Do not tell my wife we went inside. She would be so ungodly mad if she found out what we just did." I used my garage door opener in my car to close the door. Before we leave, I look at the camera again. Not my wife is back on the bed with not my son, both staring blankly at the camera, blinking every few seconds. That was all about 4 days ago, and they're still sitting in the bed, not moving a million. You haven't gone back in 4 days, not called the police, and there's a part 2. I don't even know. This dude is going to be talking about so much specifics.
Yeah, no. Like and subscribe if you want to see part 2. Comment if you want to see part 2 in the next video.
What's up with all the specific details?
If you want more specific details, just let us know.
Look, I'm sorry. This is like, that took me out of the story. All these random, like you could have condensed it, but instead you're talking about blinking patterns and floorboards creaking when you walk in the right way. That is the first story was good. This was a way not to like, the first story he's talking about how obsessed he was because it ended up looping back and making sense.
That won a Pulitzer.
Yeah, for real. This is amateur.
Very.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rising Back, but we need like and subscribe for part 2.
Yeah. Comment if you want to see that again. But yeah, that's all we have to say.
That's always move on to the next story.
Move on to the next story.
On to the third story. Let's hope, you know what, a good one.
No, this one's good.
A bad one, you know, we'll say we'll all intents and purposes that was a bad one. Let's hope we get a good one in. So, last story. My sugar daddy asked me for weird favors. See that's an intro. The last potential. One, my son.
Literally his title.
Yeah, you could.
His title.
He over-explained the title. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Oh, okay, sorry. His Tinder profile said he was 45, but he looked to be in his early 30s at most. Looking for a sugar baby, $700 weekly, no sex. This means, man, just follow me around. It sounded too good to be true, but as a broke university student, I'm willing to take my chances. I swiped right, and Tinder let me know it was a match, and the message came seconds later. "Hey there, sweetheart." Smiley face, he says. I cringed at that word. I hated it, but $700 is $700, so I sucked it up and replied, "Hey." The weird favors, who knows, we're probably going to get there. His name was Jack, and he told me he owned his own business, although he never specified what kind of business it was. So we talked for a while, and he asked me for my Venmo to send the first payment. Dang! After the first few minutes, I got the notification. $700 for at least 20 minutes. Expecting to wake up from a dream at any second, but it wasn't a dream. "You still there?" he says. And I clicked on the message. "Yeah, sorry, if you don't mind me asking, what are you looking for in return?" And I stared at the chat until he replied, "I'm just looking for you to do a few favors for me." Smiley face. That sounded like it was going to be sexual to me, so I said, "Like what?" He said, "For example, the first thing I need you to do is pick up a delivery for me." Okay, this is a delivery. Yeah. We got a drug cartel guy here. That sounded innocent enough, but I was still expecting to be some kind of twist. $700 to pick up a package? Come on, I wasn't even that naive. "From the post office or something?" I say. He says, "No, I'll send you the address, but I'd rather not do this through Tinder. You got Kick, or can you give me your number?" Kick, what was this, 2011? I don't know what Kick, so I decided to give him my number instead. And he texted me the address immediately, followed by the address to his house, where I would have to drop off the package. He says, "I'm not home right now, but there's a key on the bottom of the blue flower pot near the door. Go inside and put the package on the coffee table in the living room. Make sure you lock the door when you go inside the house, and then lock it again when you leave." I grabbed my car keys and wallet and got in my car, putting that just... Dang, so... I don't know. I would be asking more questions there.
Yeah, no.
And I would definitely not go inside this crib and lock the door.
Yeah.
Got it. On my way, she says, and my phone buzzed. I backed out of my driveway. "I'm serious. Lock the door both times. Please."
At that point, I'm just leaving on the front porch being like, "You already paid me, bro."
Yeah, no, I'm not just leaving under like the chair or something. I don't know. I thought it was a little excessive, but I promised him that I would. The house looked abandoned. It had a broken chain link fence around it with a small door that was hanging on to dear life. It stuck out like a sore thumb, surrounded by houses that were a lot nicer than this one in comparison. "You here for jack shit?" I looked up to see a man in the open doorway of the house. He took up almost the entire space. His head is skimming the top of the door frame. He was huge in height and muscles, and his entire torso was covered in tattoos. This is the cartel. "Yeah, I guess," I replied, not moving from my spot on the sidewalk. "Stay right there," he said. I did. I actually don't think I would have moved if he would have asked me to. I looked around and realized there was no one else in the street. I was a 21-year-old woman in the street, and I gripped my car keys. A few minutes later, the man came back out carrying a cardboard box that was about the size of a shoebox, but stained and damp on some of the corners. Specific details, but it's alright, we'll let it slide. "Can you open the car?" he asked. I opened the trunk, not wanting that inside of my car seats, and he set it in. "Alright, there you go," he said. "Thanks," I replied, and I walked around to the driver's side of the car and opened the door. "Oh, and one more thing," he said. And I looked at him. "Watch out." I didn't reply. Why would you not? Watch out for what? That'd be a good... I blasted my music as I drove to Jack's house, hoping it would drown out my anxiety. It didn't. I parked my car in the stone driveway and stayed inside the car, admiring the house. It was a huge house with stone pillars on the front porch and the greenest grass I had ever seen in my life. I turned the car off and got out. I grabbed the package and walked to the front door, getting the key from where he said it would be. Man, I would check what's inside the package. Yeah. I opened the door and stepped in, closing it behind me. I thought about what he said about locking the door when I got inside. I thought that was a little overboard, but I stared at the closed door. Something made me reach out and lock it. Well, your fate's sealed. I walked inside, my feet cushioned by the thick maroon carpet, and admired the inside of the house. All the furniture was wooden and looked incredibly expensive. I would probably finish school a dozen times with the money that it took to finish this place. So I set the package down on the coffee table, and as I walked back to the door, I heard a phone ringing from somewhere inside the house. I froze. Wait, in my pocket, my phone buzzed. I took it out to look. "Don't answer any calls that aren't from Marvin." I put my phone back and followed the sound. So she's going deeper in after she said not to. Followed the sound of the phone, poking my head into a few different rooms before I found it was in an office. I walked over to the desk and looked at the caller ID. Incoming call from Jack. That was odd, so I grabbed my phone to look at the message again. I was starting to get a little bit creeped out and decided I wouldn't answer, just to be safe. And left the house, remembered to lock the door as I left. Oh, okay, there you go. I've done a few more favors for Jack since then. Oh, dang. I drove a BMW to a random park in another city, only to get out and drive a different car back to Jack's house. He had me meet one of his employees at lunch who gave me a briefcase to deliver to the first house I had gone to and told me he would know if I looked inside. Okay, come on now. On several occasions, he asked me to drive down to that same house and stay with the guy, whose name was Julio, for a certain amount of time. In total, I've made $3,500.
Oh,
Ching-ching.
wow. Yeah.
Don't know if it's worth doing all this sketchy stuff. I mean, if she's gonna feign ignorance and pretend like she ain't know she's doing illegal stuff at this point, if she's all right with doing that, then hey, it's fine. More recently, Jack asked me to stay in his house overnight. I woke up to a text message from him. I need you to spend the night at my house. I hadn't ever seen him in person, but I talked to him on the phone a few times, and he proceeded to tell me he would pay me $1,000 to spend the night at his house, provided that I follow a few rules. I drove to the house that evening. The driveway was empty, and it normally was, but the porch light was on. So I walked up, unlocked the door, and went inside and locked it again. Everything in the house looked the same. Jack had told me over the phone that he would leave a list of rules on the dining table, and I sat all my stuff down and then wandered to the kitchen to get to the dining room. Here are the rules. Lock the door when you come in. Only answer calls from Marvin. Don't turn on any faucets between 9 and 11 p.m. Don't open the door for anyone, no matter who they say they are, after 10 p.m. If the door to the closet at the end of the hall is open, sleep in the library. If closed, sleep in any of the bedrooms. What the hell? The gardener comes at midnight. If he starts knocking on the windows, hide. I'm out. I would be leaving.
Yeah.
Turn the TV on and let it play static through the night. Do not forget to do this, in all caps. Help yourself to anything in the fridge. I'll pay you in the morning. Good night. This is like Five Nights at Freddy's.
For real. Just make it to 6 a.m.
Yeah, just... I made sure to follow all the rules. To be honest, I was regretting my decision. But seeing as I was already here, I was getting paid, I decided to stay anyways. I figured as long as I followed the rules, I'd be perfectly fine. This dude is not a sugar daddy. No. This guy is just not a sugar daddy. Bro. Yeah, sugar creep. Nevertheless, I lounged around the house for a few hours. I was planning on going to sleep around 9, since that was the time all the weird shit would happen. So at 8:50, I brushed my teeth, used the faucet for the last time before 9. Yes, 9:11. And I checked the closet in the hallway, and upon seeing that was open, I moved my stuff into the library and got ready to sleep on the couch. Yeah, there's so many elaborate rules. I locked the doors just in case and laid on the couch scrolling through my phone. I ain't got any more messages from Jack, and I started to think up scenarios as to why he had such strict, peculiar set of rules for his house. I had dozed off, but at some point at exactly 10:16 p.m., I was woken by the doorbell ringing. I was about to get up and check, but then I remembered the rule. Don't open the door for anyone, no matter who they are, after 10 p.m. So I stayed on the couch, trying not to move, paranoid that they would hear even the slightest sound. It's the police! Open up!
It's crazy.
Great, it's the police instantly. I didn't move. Hello, it's the police! Open up or we're coming in! Imagine they're like knocking like this.
Yeah, bro.
I still didn't move, but I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. There was silence for a while after that. Then the doorbell rang again. Hey, it's Jack! Let me in! Okay, what the hell? It sounded like Jack, but still I didn't get up. He would have a key, wouldn't he? Why would he need me to let him in? This continued for almost a full hour. Different people would ring the doorbell, announce themselves, and then disappear when I didn't respond. I was finally able to fall asleep, and the gardener... Bro, why would you...
You're allowed to look out the window. You could at least, like, see.
Yeah, like, what do you... What's... You have no idea what's going on. It was just don't answer the door. I woke up the next morning, and I heard someone in the kitchen. And I got up slowly and unlocked the door as quietly as possible, taking my phone with me and walking across the living room into the kitchen. I stepped at the entrance and peered in. It was Jack. He was standing in front of the stove, stirring something as the coffee machine brewed. Hey, good morning, he said when he saw me. Hi, I replied. I hadn't seen him in person before, but he looked exactly like his pictures online. Scrambled eggs, he asked. I said, yeah, thanks, I replied, walking over to take the plate from him. I ate my breakfast and drank some coffee in silence. So how was it, he asked. It was okay. Nothing super freaky happened, I replied. Completely ignoring an hour of different people. Cool, he replied, and there was an awkwardness in the room. I think I'm going to go now. I have class. I trailed off. I didn't, but I really wanted to get out of there. Oh, no, yeah, sure. I'll talk to you some other time, he replied. I grabbed my stuff, and he walked me to my car, and I could see him standing in the driveway staring at me as I left. When I got home, I unpacked all my stuff and noticed that I still had the list with me. And I sat on my bed and read it again, and felt my body tense up as I realized I forgot something. Turn on the TV at night and let static play through the night. Do not forget to do this. Do not forget to do this. Do not forget to do this. I stared at the words on the page till they lost meaning. Beside me, my phone buzzed, snapping me back to reality. It was the $1,000 payment. Cha-ching! I looked at my phone and then back at the list. Maybe it wasn't an important step. As I was thinking this over, a text from Jack came in. I'm not in town right now. I should be back next week, so if you're free from running any more errands for me until then, just send the payment, go to something fun. And then I stared at the message and read it again. And once more for good measure. I'm not. Within minutes, a new text came in from a number that I didn't recognize. Did you forget to do something? Winky face. The text was followed by a picture of Jack, or whoever this version of Jack was, standing in front of the TV. I didn't respond. Next came another picture. This one was outside of my house, and it was followed by another text. Watch out.
All right, hillbilly.
The hillbilly dude, you know, that guy's apparently super tall.
Nah.
That's what that reminds me of.
What's the lowest you would get paid?
To do the house?
To do the house. What's the lowest you get paid?
Well, because she obviously... Well, first of all, she did it like an idiot. How do you not, like, read all this? It's not like it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, well, really 8 steps, and you can't follow one of them. Turn on the TV and let it play static. She's just lucky she didn't meet the gardener. I mean, I want to know who this... If the gardener comes at midnight, because it says if he starts knocking on the windows, hide.
Have you ever seen... I think the movie's called Creep.
Nope.
It's this dude, and he's like a cameraman. And he gets hired by this dude to like shoot this little short film, which basically just follows this dude around. And it's in like the woods in this cabin. And the dude's basically just like a weirdo. Not the cameraman, but like the dude is.
The dude that hired him.
Mm-hmm. And like, at the end, he kills the cameraman. Like, he does a bunch of weird stuff. Like, he puts on this wolf mask and he just starts growling. And then starts chasing the dude around with the wolf mask on.
So he hired him and took him out to like a middle of nowhere or something?
Yeah, basically. It was actually crazy.
This is like Creep meets Five Nights at Freddy's then. I'd probably do it for I'd do it for 10,000. Oh, that's probably my
10,000.
Would you do it for 1,000?
I think I might. It's $1,000 extra one night.
I know, but which we wouldn't know, but when taking it. But she's having to like deal with these random people. I feel okay. If the police asked to like barge in, you would give in like instantly. If you were the police.
If I knew it was the police.
And you'd open it up and probably do whatever horror creature is waiting. And
it'd be Jack with like an axe being like, I told you not to.
Let me ask you a question.
Or he'd be like, you want scrambled eggs? I got you.
Yeah, the scrambled eggs. Hey, you low-key made him breakfast. But I mean, it's not like they're going to kill him. She just posts a picture outside her house to watch out. That means they're about to barge in. If she has any type of weaponry, she's defending herself and killing them. Like, even though this hillbilly dude's like super tall and buff and all that, yeah, a couple shots will knock him down. So I don't know if she's had her name, but I think she's good. But
yeah, let us know what you think of that story. And how much you would do it for.
Yeah, I think the first story is probably the best, and obviously it's an obsession script. This could be a script to a movie, as far as I'm concerned.
Sugar Daddy coming to theaters.
Yeah, Sugar Daddy. And then the third, the second story, I don't even consider that a story. That's just random details all thrown together.
Just bullshit. But yeah, let us know which one was your favorite.
What was your favorite? comment, and subscribe, please, 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 to Toon Squad Pod.
Yeah, but we'll catch you in the next Toon Threads, and yeah, see you next time.
See ya.